chronological resume and reverse chronological resume. When we talk chronological means we use the term clockwise, the way a clock moves. Chronology. First come first. Where? And reverse chronology, last come first. Reverse chronological order, last come first. Means reverse chronological order, you will be writing your BTech. Then all 8, 7, 6, 5 semester result, and then plus 2, then matriculation. Chronological 10, 12. What is the benefit? Why? Which one to adopt here? Let us ask the question. Suppose that somebody is having 80% in his schooling, 70% in plus 2 and 55% in BTech. Which pattern he should follow?
Chronological.
Chronological, because the best impression will be made by the schooling marks, that matriculation mark. And if someone is having 80% schooling, matriculation, 85 plus 2, 90, let us say BTech. So, yes. Why is it so? It will make a better impression, better representation. This, and the person is not having a lot of time to give me, spend on me. That is why he requires this skill. He also wants to save his time. I also want to represent myself the best, like 30-second appearance, 60-second, 1 minute, 2 minute appearance. For that purpose, this page is supposed to be prepared. Moving to this academic qualification, there are 2 patterns. Then there is one more pattern to be written. Like, don't mention your marks at all. If you are a person like Dr. S.N. Singh having very poor marks throughout, so what should you write? Only
Last.
yeah. Then, and another beautiful word for that, matriculation from Haryana Board of Secondary Education in the year, full stop. Then plus 2 from, you
Senior,
can say
senior second.
CBSE board, and in the year, let us say that is 2002-2004. And then BTech from TIT in the year, BTech from MDU, because you got the marks of MDU, and if you want, if you are in the field of textile, then MDU in bracket TITF, because there you can project and TIT will be always be better. So that way you know what do I write normally. For me, my institution is more important. So I write simply one line if I have to, like graduation, post-graduation and PhD from Banaras Hindu University. Because you know that is, institution is more important, where I studied, how much marks I got, that I cannot project, because that is that has been the institution that used to give very, very poor marks. Clear? Yeah, for our time, gold medalist of the university topper 64%. Clear? And only 4 above 60 out of 88, that too the students were selected after all India level entrance exam. But 4 first class, only. So that purpose, profiling is, it should be mentioned accordingly. Then area of expertise and specialization. What is your special area? In which field you are very good? What training you have done and where you are good specialization in my qualification was American literature. But today if you see and you throw a question, what is your specialization? I will normally say communication skills in English. Why is it so? Since last 10 years I neither studied nor taught that American literature. So specialization also changes. Area of expertise changes according to the professional exposure you are having. Like earlier, people from mathematics and physics, they used to be the HOD of computers. At the very beginning, when computer science was introduced to India, the professors of mathematics and physics, they used to be the head of the department of, even dual head of the department mathematics and computers, additional. They physics and computers, physics and electronics. So that way, what is your area of expertise and what is your specialization? You must mention. Like for you, maybe summer training based on your own choice, your own interest, based on your best scoring paper. Like for our case, we used to go for honors course. So for honors, the paper that you are studying as honors will be your expertise. But here I don't know that whether honors or any final year specialization is there. In BTech final year, do you have any specialization paper that you choose? No. Then it only depends on your area of expertise. In which paper, in which area you feel comfortable, you are expert. Then there comes projects carried out. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 projects you have done. Then after the project, there comes industrial visits. This is very, very important thing and you take it most casually. I know it. This is the very important thing and you take it most casually. How many times you have visited an industry and submitted a project on that? I did, though I am a non-technical person. I visited as the part of a training at NIT Jalandhar. I visited Oswal's in Ludhiana. As part of the training, National Institute of Technical Teacher Training and Research, that this file is there from Inter Bhopal. National Institute of Technical Teacher Training and Research, Bhopal. I visited LNJ Jhunjhunwala and presented a report on that. So, industrial visit, you must be very, very sincere while visiting. Then you will be able to tell what is the difference between acrylic and wool. After visiting Oswal Ludhiana, you will be able to differentiate what is the difference into pure wool and acrylic. And after visiting examination and getting good marks and go away. Apart from your academics, how many conferences you attended outside your college? Like right now I am telling you, suppose that some of you might be dreaming for becoming a good teacher. And if you want to get a job in Thopade University, Patiala, the first requirement, if you say that I have attended international seminar at TITS, they will rubbish the paper industry. They say you studied from TIT, you attended the seminar organized over there, so that is not international level, that is the and seminars attended organized paper presented there is one thing that you should short-term training participated again and organized after that there is one more thing, awards and honors.
इंटर सोसाइटी कंपटीशन
हमारे पास कुछ भी नहीं है.
You need to look for the awards and honors. Then there comes awards and honors, and after that hobbies and interests.
That's my other school.
This is very critical point where you do mistake. You commit blunders. So, hobbies and interests. Normally, most of you copy. But I have one example from IIT Kharagpur. Again, I visited there and I attended a training. And what happened? A final year student appeared in a job interview and he was asked a question, what are your hobbies? And his answer was, take the chair. He was asked the question, what are your hobbies? And the answer given by the candidate is Formula 1 car race. Hobbies, Formula 1 car race. The next question, what is Formula 1? And the question was explained by the candidate very well and he got the best package out of his class. No third question. Based on hobby only he got, and normally at IIT Kharagpur, the teachers, the trainers, they interview the company people after the interview. They ask that, oh, we are very happy that our student got such a huge package, but at the same time we are shocked to see that the topper of the class is not gaining that package. So what is the reason behind that? The company person answered and they said, if the candidate is so clear about his hobbies, what will be his level of clarity about the technicality of the subject that he is studying and going through? So, based on his conceptual clarity, we are hiring him. That is why you must be very, very particular about your hobbies, about your choices, about your interests. And then later on, there for the main body, one more point, sports participation. In how many sports you are able to participate? How many of you are having a sports participation certificate today? Only 20% under 2 school level. Why is it so? Why are you not nurturing your hobby of sport today? At no time you can be said to stop your hobby, nurturing. And for hobby, you need to maintain you need to prepare some time. Like suppose that I am asking you a question in an interview that somebody said that my hobby is swimming. How many times daily you go swim? What is the frequency of your time at your hobby? And you are telling, no, last 10 years I have not seen any swimming pool. Why? Because I am so busy, I have no time to give to my hobby. This is not a justified answer, and then swimming is not your hobby. You have to manage some time. And again, for hobbies and interests, many a time you people write passive hobbies. There are 2 types of hobbies: active hobbies, passive hobbies. What is passive hobby? Listening to music. Passive. Your role is nowhere. Watching television, viewing cinema, viewing cricket match. What are you doing? Today there comes an advertisement to check the diabetes and all that. That one photograph is hanging on the wall, and the old man is telling that he is my son and he is my daughter-in-law, he is my grandson. My grandson watches the sports but doesn't play. So that way you need to mention active hobbies where your action is involved. That makes a sense that if suppose that today I am telling my hobby is playing Ludo. Clear? That involves no action, hardly any action. That way, hobbies must like swimming, racing, play, where zeal is required, where competition is there, playing chess, even reading novels and reviewing, and then you must be able to tell a few lines about that novel. So that is the part of hobbies and interest. And then sports participation. Sports participation. Because nowadays human life is getting only professional. People are not having time to manage life at workplace. So the biggest question is of work-life balance. The biggest question is of work-life balance. Either you are workaholic, only working, or you are a worker or a shirker, shirking from your responsibility always. Like a few of your classmates might be, who will go to listen to the boring lecture of SNC. Let us be out and enjoy the weather, fine weather. So they are shirkers. Either work or shirk. But don't be neither workaholic nor shirkaholic. But be a person who knows how to balance between work and life. and that will make you, because your health is also a priority, and if you are ignoring it, you will not be able to perform well in the longer run. And then for that purpose, sports participations are required. Moving from the front matter to main body, now we will be focusing our attention and shifting it to back matter. Back matter is required, it requires personal details. The back matter of resume requires personal details of parents. Many a time in our resume we write only father name and we ignore mother name. This is a serious problem with you. If you are not mentioning your mother name in your resume, it means you don't give equal right to women. You don't participate in women empowerment. For you male, you are a male dominating temperamental person. This shows, this reflects. That is why on mark sheets, even on DMCs, mother name is also there. Parents, both the parents, their mother, father, both should come. Nationality, and earlier in India, even warriors were named after their mother. Like Karna was known as Radhe, the son of Radha. Arjuna was known as Kaunteya, the son of Kunti. So mother was more dominating in the lives of son and family, when you can say. Yudhishthir said, whatever my mother says is religion for me. I don't know any religion. Whatsoever my mother tells me, that is religion for me. And the same statement used to be said by Shivaji on this earth. And one of the modern Indian icons. Furthermore, parents, nationality, gender, masculine, feminine, now another one, transgender. Third one, because jobs are there for them as well. Then date of birth, status, married, unmarried. These requirements should be mentioned here in your resume. That is back matter, and in back matter, personal details.